Welcome back to the Final Gear review, guys. Today we're going to be doing a review of the Peltor Comtac III headset. I need to say that slow because I've done 4 videos prior to this where I keep butchering the name. So I apologize if I butcher the name here. It is the Peltor Comtac III headset. It's from 3M. You probably recognize these. These gained a lot of popularity in Call of Duty video game. But today we're going to be focusing on the practical real-world applications for this. Anybody that's an average shooter, or anybody in the military, anyone in law enforcement, anybody in firefighting, EMS, EMTs, know the importance, the critical importance of having good hearing protection when they're in a loud environment. And these units deliver in every aspect. Now there's 2 different types of Peltor Comtac III headsets. There's a single comm and the dual comm units. This is the dual comm unit, and I'm going to explain a very interesting caveat to the dual comm unit to prevent any frustration or misunderstanding if you guys do purchase one of these. I know I spoke with 3M and they can't explain to me why this happens, but it's a very simple fix. We'll start by just doing a quick run over here of this unit. I want to start out with saying I don't know if this comes with the unit when you buy it from a retailer. I was lucky enough to get this unit used off eBay. It was used one time. So I don't know if this comes with it. So keep that in mind. It does say Peltor on it. So I'm assuming you can buy this if it doesn't come with it. But this is just a simple carrying case, just nice to have. The other thing that does not come with this is this headband here. This is from Special Operations Equipment. It's $25. It's just a really nice addition. If you're spending $600 on a headset, spend the $25 because while the headset is comfortable, this headband after extended use gets very uncomfortable. It's just a very thin piece of black plastic that runs over wires. Doesn't really have much in the way of padding. This though has some really nice padding in it. It's got a spot for a name tape if you got a unit number, law enforcement, firefighter, EMS, your name, whatever you may deem to put on top there. Now, one of the nice things that this unit has versus a cheap knockoff version, or maybe something you buy from a shooting store or Walmart, is the ability to choose which way your mic runs. You can move it from, this is the right ear right now, you can move this microphone from the right ear to the left ear. It's user specific. The user can specify which side he wants that on. And that's very simply done by taking this wire, which runs to the actual headset right here. This just unplugs, and you just move the plug over to this side, and then this little plastic piece right here just slides off like so, and you just move the whole unit over to this side, and there you go. Now you've moved sides. Maybe you're a left or right-handed shooter that, due to your cheek weld, needs your microphone to be in a different position. Maybe you're wearing a gas mask. Although wearing a gas mask, there's adapters meant for this, for gas masks, because you couldn't really use this if you have a gas mask on. So not sure why I said that, but you get my point. If you feel you need to move your microphone from the right side to the left side to the right side, the option's there. It's quick, it's easy, and it works. This unit operates on AAA batteries. Each side here has a AAA battery compartment that's got a water sealed door on it, which is really nice. These units are water resistant. Each side has AAAs. Now the big difference between the Peltor II and the Peltor III is they went from a AA battery to a AAA, which cut down on the meat here at the bottom. It allows a better fit underneath a combat helmet, whether it's a Mitch helmet, a gunfighter helmet. You've reduced and moved down on the headset the bulk, the majority of the bulk. And you also get better battery life out of these than you did with the Comtac II. You've got two microphones here covered in foam. The foam appears to work really well with wind cut out. I haven't been out on a day where it's really gusting, but I've been out on days where it's windy, and it's really done a fabulous job of cutting out a lot of that static pickup from the wind. The processor inside this unit works fantastic. The cutout is nice and crisp. There's no bleed over on that first shot. So that's a huge benefit. Any operator, anybody that has had a cheaper pair of electronic hearing protection can tell you that cheaper hearing protection tends to have issues with that first shot bleeding over, and you get either a full dose of the sound or you even get an amplified amount of sound. You don't have that with these. As for the amplification properties in the microphones, it's amazing. To give you a little story here, 11:30 at night, put these on for the very first time after getting home, sitting on my front porch, popped them on, turned them on, and all of a sudden, clear as day, I hear somebody talking. And I look over to my left, and I don't see anyone in my yard. I don't see anyone in my neighbor's yard. So I walk out into the street. I probably look like a fool walking around with wires hanging down. But anyways, I walk out into the street, and I look down, and I see somebody a block down the street talking on their porch. And I realize what I'm hearing is the person a block down the street. I can hear them talking. Now, it's not crystal clear. It's not like I'm using, a designated amplifier. I can't think of the name of them right now, but I could hear them talking. So you can only imagine if you're in a house what you would hear. You hear every little sound. When I'm at work, if I put these on, I can hear everything on my belt. It just makes you realize how noisy you are sometimes. But so the amplification property is fantastic on these. Now, I mentioned to you that this is a dual comm versus a single comm. What that is as you see, you have two plugs here. The single comm only has one of these plugs. These are NATO plugs. They're meant for the military radios, the plug right in. Now, that doesn't mean if you aren't in the military, you can't use these. There is a very simple solution, which I'll show you here in a moment. What the dual comm allows you to do is use two different radios. To give you an example, let's say you are a firefighter and you are at a active shooter at a school. You might have this one plugged in to talk to your scene commander or other firefighters, EMTs on scene, and then this one's going to be plugged in the separate radio where you might be able to talk to law enforcement or a centralized dispatch unit, or anyone else on a different frequency, assuming you have a second radio. Now, the caveat I told you about was I have the microphone on the right ear plug, or I'm sorry, the right ear cup, and it's running through the right ear cup. Now, I've got my push to talk and my radio on my tack vest mounted on the left side of my vest. So naturally, to avoid having wires running across my chest, under my vest, around my back, and just to create a whole mess, I was using the left down lead to this ear cup right here. Now, incoming audio was amazing. It came through crisp, clear, was fantastic coming into this left ear cup. But when I would hit the PTT or the push to talk, the outgoing audio was legible, but it was muffled. It sounded like I was in a tunnel, and it was very hard to hear without turning volume on the other end way up. Now I thought, well geez, I know I bought a used unit, maybe it's malfunctioning, maybe something's wrong with it. So I called 3M. Well, they forgot to ask me if it was a dual com or a single com. They walked me through a few things, none of it worked. Well, before I was getting ready to pack it up and send it to 3M to have them review it, I said, well, let's just try something here. So I switched leads and I used the down lead to the right ear cup, which is the same ear cup that has the microphone. Problem solved. Incoming audio, crystal clear. Outgoing audio, amazing. Sounds better than the lapel mic I use. So I called 3M back and I asked them. And they said, you know, they apologized. They said, sorry, we didn't even think to ask you if you're using a dual com headset. They explained to me that if you are using a single radio, you have to use the down lead on the same side as your microphone. Now, why it's a caveat is if you hook up two radios, it doesn't matter. They both come through crystal clear, both left and right down lead. But when you only have one plugged in, for some reason, the processor doesn't process it correctly, and then you lead to that issue where you don't have clear audio if you're using the wrong down lead. So just remember that if you're using this for comms, use the correct down lead, or else you're going to be really confused. You're going to think you got a busted unit when you really don't. As for placement on this unit, you want this microphone basically right up to your mouth. You want to be able to kiss this microphone. It's high enough quality where you don't get that muffled sound like someone's eating a mic. So believe me, you want to get this right up to your mouth. I've got a video that I'm working on right now. You'll see me wearing this unit. You'll see how close I have this to my mouth, and believe me, the audio comes through crystal clear. Now, I mentioned that these were NATO down leads, and I mentioned that you can still use this if you don't have NATO plugs. What happens is you need something called a PTT, or push to talk. Now what I'm going to show you is I'm going to put this down to the side right now, and I'm going to show you my tack vest here. And I will be doing a review of this vest in its entirety later tonight. I'm going to go over everything in it and about it. But this is the push to talk right here. It's a very simple push to talk option. This just runs back to your radio, and I'll show you all this later. But it's very simply just runs back, and it's got a connector that connects. Now, where that NATO lead comes into is, as you see right up here at the top, there's a secondary hole. This just plugs right into there, and you're good to go. So that, you will have to have this, and they sell it in all sorts of adapters to other types of radios. I'm using the Motorola XTS 2500. It's an 800 radio. But just make sure you get the correct PTT if you're going to be using this headset with comms. The only other thing to show you here is on the bottom. This is the power button. You hold both of these for 2.5-3 seconds, something around there. You're going to hear a beep and the unit turns on. These also function as the volume button. If you guys have any questions, like I said, please let me know. I haven't found any real videos or reviews of the Comtac III headset on YouTube, so I want to, by all means, let you guys ask questions and get you the right unit and the right hearing protection. So if there's something I missed, something you want to know, shoot me a comment. If you enjoyed the video, guys, please like the video, subscribe to my channel. Upcoming here later today also, we're going to be having a review of this unit, also a rapid deployment active shooter bag that I received. So I look forward to getting this next video out for you guys. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.